Watch the way the wind is going up over here and underneath here. Now, let's go to -3 degrees of drag. Take a look at what happens. You see the way the wing is starting to point upwards. Point downwards. Now, this is where you really begin to get the driver's attention. You go to -5, -6. I'm going to show you -7 degrees of wing angle. Look at what's happened to this wing. This basically, if you could see the end plate, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not by much. What you have in essence done is you've taken the wing and the downforce that it creates totally out of the equation. Now you're dealing in downforce on average with these cars about 1,950 pounds. For every degree of wing that you take out, go to the minus side, that's 50 pounds. So when you get down to -5 degrees of wing, hey, just do the math. You're talking about 250 pounds. That's a sizable reduction in downforce and the ensuing drag. And it really does get the attention of the drivers.
Will Power is on the racetrack, thanks, Jack, and has just turned a lap at over 227 miles an hour. We are not yet finished with this segment, ladies and gentlemen.
well, that's the one thing right now is he doing this to set himself up for when we get to the shootout, or is he doing this right now to set himself up to get to that P1 so he gets to make all the decisions where he's going to be on pit road and then the top 9 order for the shootout?
John Andretti is also on pit lane. He has not qualified for this year's 500. He could have a run coming up here before long. Stay with us from Indianapolis. Pole day at Indianapolis, and John Andretti in the cockpit of the Window World sponsor car, co-entered by Richard Petty along with Andretti Autosport. Boy, did he have an emotional day last year on bump day, as he was bumped in and out of the starting lineup, I think something like 6 times. Just one of those gut-wrenching days for Andretti, but when it came time to get it in the show, just as almost the gun was going off to close qualifications, John Andretti put it in the show, and he was, of course, driving for the Dreyer and Reinbold team last year. What a moment for John Andretti and the team.
And like we say, is this place, we love to hate it and we love to love it. But when you have those challenges and it turns out okay, this level of satisfaction and sense of accomplishment, nothing outweighs it.
Now, you may have noticed in the background when they pushed up John Andretti's car to present it for qualifying, if he gets in, he will bump A.J. Foyt the 4th. And at the same time he was rolling in, we saw behind that they were starting to position AJ's car to potentially fire back.
Yep.
So this is the kind of stuff you normally see on bubble day.
Right.
On the final day. Now we're not even to the end of the first day. Right. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
And we're getting to that witching hour. We're about 40 minutes into it, and that's what we said. About 3:30 we thought it was going to start getting crazy, and this is the beginning of it.
There is. Yep. It's interesting that A.J. Foyt is the godfather of John Andretti. But Andretti's car has been presented for a qualification attempt, and the yellow light has gone on to call all other cars in so that he can begin his qualifying run.
And John just went out earlier, so he did a 2:24.1 before they came back and said, okay, looks like you're up to speed. They brought him in, put those tires on. So if he can maintain a 2:24.1, he's going to be okay.
We have been wondering whether or not there would be drivers who are right on the edge, like 10th, 11th, and 12th, if they might want to take a shot at a top 9. And one of those in that category is Davey Hamilton. He's with Jack. We'll get the answer.
Yeah, down here in the IZOD performance pit, and we're looking at the lineup, and, well, Davey, there you are. And you're in your street clothes, so obviously you're not going to take a shot to break into that Fast 9.
You know, I'd love to, and obviously I'm right behind him, you know, and it's very close, but I'll be honest with you, I think I can get a 25-1 possibly, but it really doesn't put us in that top 9, you know, and it's just so close, and if it does, it would be 9th, and it's just not worth the gamble, I don't think, at this point. We've had a great race car. It's my only race car, so I just want to take a gamble right now, and we're in a good spot.
All right, what about your teammate, Rafa Matos?
Yeah, he's the same. We're gonna just we're already working on our race cars. We're putting race setups on them, and we were hoping maybe even to get out today and do some race sims, you know, during these shutdown areas. But it'd be tomorrow, and we're looking forward to the race. Even if we move back a few spots, Jack, it's no big deal. It's a 500-mile race.
You've been around here a long time, and we're starting to see some maneuvering and shuffling from within P1 and P9.
Yeah.
What can you forecast what you think is going to happen? Taking a look at the weather forecast, temperature's going to drop about 10 degrees, but the wind is going to kick up to about 7 as much as 10 miles an hour.
Yeah, you know, what I see is Penske's the ones out working right now, right? I mean, I haven't seen Tag out there, although Tag only runs about 15 laps a day and blows a big speed up there, and he's doing a fantastic job with that team. But Penske, them guys are out proving it. Will just did a run at a high 26. We just seen Elio do his run, pull his time out, right? Second quick to get on the pole to get it taken away. So those guys are going to be tough. But Tags, you know, he's probably the, you know, the dark horse that's strong all week.
Well, stay right here because we're going to watch the run of John Andretti. He's yet to qualify, and he's
we got to get him in there, right? As long as he doesn't beat me, he got to get in.
Guys.
John Andretti's engine is fired, and he'll be pulling away in just a moment to get that number 43 in the show.
And the key word from Davey says, you know, we only got one car. That, when I heard only one car, you knew what the answer was.
Now, the person who would be doing the dance if he heard that interview would be Ed Carpenter, because he's the man sitting in 9th spot. You heard Justin Wilson say, nope, don't think so. Rafael Matos, Davey Hamilton, the next 3 people in line.
Who did you just point out to me?
I just pointed out the window. I said, hey, Robbie, look at Townsend Bell is rolling his car up. We have to look farther down to think there still are some players that could move their way into the top 9.
So Townsend Bell was rolling past us in the direction to submit your car. They had stickers on it. They had the rear of the car jacked up. That's usually the makeup that means you're heading there, or at least going to let somebody think that.
22 years ago, that was 1988, Rick Mears won his 3rd Indianapolis 500. There was one driver in the field that day who is attempting to qualify today. Who would that be?
John Andretti. Man. Well, there had been a reason you were going with the story. I mean,
I was like, if it wasn't John Andretti, you set us up bad.
Well, you know I've hit my head a couple times around this place and been knocked out, but occasionally I luck out and just put it together like that. It's a stretch.
He has driven for 8 different teams in 10 years, including for Porsche Motorsports in 1990. Talking about John Andretti.
Was that the Foster's car? Right? The Porsche was the Foster's car. That's what I remember. Yeah, that was a good-looking car.
And here's another reuniting as John Anderson is back with John Andretti as the green flag comes out and John begins. This is his first attempt today. How do you do in the warm-up, Jan?
Just checking for you, Bob.
Yeah. Doing the math, scratching it out.
Oh, the tracker down there says 19th.
Wow. Well, just slipped back too, just as we said that.
Yep.
But again, the key is not just what he posts on that first time by, you got to maintain that throughout. And just prior to this, he did a 224.1. So again, if he gets into that window and can maintain, you're good to go.
Lap number 1 complete.
Should be just about what you said, Robbie, just around a 224.1.
Yep, 223.656. So that isn't going to do it. He needs a 223.9.
So usually what's happening, the car starts to pick up a push. You start to lose the front of the car. So before you lose the front of the car, you got to start dialing some weight to the left front. When we say weight jacker, that puts weight on the left front of that car, and it helps it turn more. So as the car loses that grip, you're predicting that, and you're putting that weight to the left front, knowing where it's going before it gets there. Because if you wait till after you feel it, it's too late. You got to kind of feel your way to it.
Second lap is 223.541, down a little bit as Michael cannot be happy with this run, and John. John has been in 10 Indianapolis 500s. His best start was 7th and best finish 5th, both in 1991.